Football thrives on emotion. We all have that one club that our heart belongs to. And our club often has this one rivalry that emotionalizes us like nothing else. That's exactly what we have in Tanzania. You're either a Simba fan or a Yanga fan. You can't be both. And today we're talking about perhaps the biggest rivalry in African club football. But what exactly are we talking about today? A quick look of where we are. Africa, or rather East Africa, Tanzania. We're going to the region of the country's largest city, Dar es Salaam. And there are many football clubs there. But there are two big ones that have been competing for the #1 spot in the country for years. Simba Sports Club and Young African Sports Club. In short, Simba versus Yanga. A brief digression back into history. Yanga was founded 1935 as New Young. 1 year later, in 1936, Simba was created. But let's delve a little deeper. The founding members of Yanga quickly fell out over the team's poor performances and results. The dispute could not be resolved, so some members decided to form their own club. They called their new club Queens FC, but today it is better known as Simba. The origins of the great rivalry therefore date back to the founding years. And where are the clubs culturally located? Yanga is located among the Saramo, Shombi and Ndengereko tribes, while Simba found support among the educated classes and citizens with Arab influences. Simba also had Indian players early on, as well as support from rich Arabs. Over the years, Yanga and its values became a symbol of the anti-colonial movement. And the club even became so important that a major political party in the country adopted the green and yellow colors. In the meantime, however, the camps of supporters can no longer be separated according to such factors. Due to people moving from the countryside to the city and major shifts in the population, the two clubs now have fans from all over the country and from all walks of life. So the story runs parallel, but what about the headquarters? Yanga is based in Twiga Street in the Jangwani neighborhood. Simba's home is about 3 kilometers away on Haile Selassie Road. How long it takes by car depends on the traffic. And the stadiums? The distance is even shorter, as they both share a stadium. What the San Siro is to Milano, the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium is to Dar es Salaam. Let's talk briefly about the stadium. The Benjamin Mkapa Stadium was opened in 2007. It is the largest stadium in the country and one of the 20 largest in Africa. It actually seats 60,000 spectators, but the record attendance is 70,000. When? The 2008 derby between Yanga and Simba, of course. Until 2020, it was known as the Tanzania National Main Stadium. The capital's third major club, Azam, does not play in this stadium, but in Chamazi Stadium. But let's get back to the sport. Let's look at history. Who has won more titles? Since 2015, there hasn't been a champion in Tanzania who wasn't called Simba or Yanga. Most recently, Yanga won the title twice. In total, the club has won 24 championship titles, Simba 22. Third place in the all-time table, Machi with 3 titles. So you can see how far ahead of the rest the two clubs are. It looks similar in the cup in Tanzania. 5 titles for Yanga, 6 titles for Simba. At least in this competition, other teams can also intervene from time to time. And in African comparison, Yanga's greatest success in the CAF Champions League was reaching the quarterfinals this year. Simba? They have already made it to the quarterfinals several times, so it seems only a matter of time before the Tanzanian flag is waved in the Champions League final. And in the current CAF club ranking, Simba is in the 9th place, Yanga in 13th. So we have made the comparison with a view to the balance sheets. But now let's take a look at the direct comparison. How does the derby between Simba and Yanga work? The game is also known as the Kariakoo Derby. In the recent past, there was a big win for Simba. In 2012, the team won 5-0 over their big rivals. In the stadium, you can clearly see the division between the fan camps. One half of the stadium is green and yellow, the other red and white. Days before the game, there is no other topic in Dar es Salaam. You have to decide, are you in favor of Yanga or Simba? It's almost impossible to get tickets. The game is always sold out. The whole country looks to the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium when the two heavyweights go head to head. The match has been played 112 times since 1965, with Yanga winning 40 and Simba 32, plus 40 draws. Is it the biggest derby in Africa? Egyptians and South Africans would probably not necessarily agree, but at least in East Africa, it is undisputably the biggest rivalry between two clubs in one country. There are repeated accusations of magicians and sorcerers interfering in the course of matches, and although violence is not the order of the day, there have certainly been clashes between the two fan camps. In the stadium, there's definitely a duel in the stands to see who wears the craziest and most eye-catching outfits. It is fair to say that Yanga currently have the upper hand thanks to their two recent titles and their big lead in the table. But that could change quickly. The past proved that. The league in Tanzania is one of the fastest growing in Africa. There is a large and above all long-term TV deal with broadcaster Azam TV, which guarantees greater income. Every match in the league is shown on TV, perhaps as standard in Europe, but definitely not in Africa. The upswing in football is based on the appeal of the two big clubs. Yanga and Simba are as important for the country as Real Madrid and FC Barcelona are for Spain. When the Kariakoo Derby takes place, the country stands still. An incredible story. Two great clubs. You have to decide for yourselves which side you choose. I remain journalistically neutral and am simply happy that we can enjoy such a rivalry. It's the lifeblood of football. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave me a like and let me know in the comments which derby you would like to know more about. I hope to see you soon on this channel again.